Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm D, and this is High Off Blue Hour, and we are going to take a look at and a listen to some free sound effects from a company called AE Juice. Now, AE Juice, what they do is they are a resource for animation tools, plugins, video effects, presets, things like video templates, stock footage, even sound effects, all of these things that you can use within various editing software like After Effects, Premiere Pro, and what I use, DaVinci Resolve. And I think there's other software that this is compatible with as well. Now, they do have paid packs and bundles. One bundle in particular that is definitely worth it, called the I Want It All bundle, but this video is not going to be focusing on that. We're going to be taking a look at some free stuff. In particular, one of their sound effects packs is free. They have various sound effects packs, but they do have one that falls within their free options, and that's what we're going to take a look at here. And this right here, this is just kind of an overview of all the effects packs that they have. But the one we're going to look at here is this sound effects pack. It is free, and I've already downloaded it, so we're going to open this up here. And when you download any of their packs, this is kind of what the interface looks like. Over here on the left side, you have the categories as well as the number next to the categories that kind of show you how many options exist within that particular category. So right here for the free sound effects, we have the different sound effects categories, and then you have how many options are within those categories. And then if you hover your cursor over each image, you will get the sound that corresponds with it. So let's just kind of check out a few of these. All right, to give you, an example of just the sound quality. So like, for instance, we have blasters here. There's only 6 in this category. Let's click on it. Now, these are kind of like space blasters, basically. So, if you just hold the cursor over each sound, the sound will play through and then it will repeat if you keep the cursor hovering over it. Now, I think these are actually, in terms of the sound quality, I think these sound very clean. Now, artistically, it's up to whether this is something you need for your project or not. I'll put one of my headphones on so I can actually hear better what I'm playing. But like, artistically, all of this is going to depend on what you need for your project. Some of this stuff is going to be useless if you don't have any use for it. That sounds very obvious, but I mean, if you're not doing anything involving, space blasters and all that type of stuff, then none of these sounds really mean anything for you. Unless maybe you're trying to be creative and use the sound of a space blaster as a substitution for another sound or something like that. But the point being is, obviously, with all sound effects, just depends on what you're looking for. A lot of sound effects seem stupid or useless until you actually have a need for it. So what you have explosions. Let's look at some of the explosions. I like this one here. Just a lot is going on within that. There's a lot of kind of individual activity within that sound. So I kind of like that. But we got that. So it's only 6 or 5 explosion sounds, but in my opinion, all 5 of them actually sound pretty good. You know what I mean? I've got some that I like more than others, but in terms of sound quality, they all sound pretty good. And you've got fire sounds, fire explosions, fire whooshes, something like, you got a flicker here. There's only one option, but let's see what it sounds like. You got that. Flyby. And I do have the volume somewhat adjusted so that a lot of these sounds, because some of these are quiet, but then there's some of these that have the potential to be too loud. So I wasn't quite sure how some of this would sound for you guys listening and watching. So I did turn some of this down a little bit. And then you've got things like you've got your glitches, which, you know, out of all of them, I think glitches is the category that has the most options. There's 52 here. Now, the thing about the glitch thing, personally, while I like to periodically use visual glitches in terms of transitions, it's very rare, if ever, that I use an audio glitch sound. So now looking at this kind of visual sound effect, or looking at the actual visual sound wave of all these different glitch sound effects, it's kind of interesting how you see just the individual shapes, the individual nature of all the different glitch sounds. For me, this doesn't do anything, but if you have glitch effects going on and you want a glitch sound effect to accompany your glitch visual, which most of the time that's what people do. Most of the time when people have a glitch visual, there's usually some sort of glitch sound effect that accompanies it. You've got a lot of options for that right here. So lots of glitches. You got high tech sounds, just all sorts of just digitization, computer sound effects, all that type of stuff. And so you just have various other things, hits, you know, paper crumpling, which is kind of a weird, unexpected thing, but I guess, you know, maybe I could see some use case scenarios for wanting paper crumple sound effect. Let me click on paper here. So you got paper crumpling. You might be doing some sort of explainer video, some sort of educational video, an animation where you have paper things happening on the screen. And so each time maybe you have a scene, and then when the scene ends, the scene gets crumpled up like a piece of paper, and then, you know, a new scene appears, and each time a scene gets crumpled up, you might want the sound effect of paper crumpling up the scene gets tossed away, and then a new scene comes, you know. So it just, you know, got to use your imagination, and that's one of the kind of interesting things about sound effects is there's a lot more use cases for, you know, sound effects than people actually realize, because so much sound effect stuff happens in the background to a certain extent. Like, you don't notice that it's happening, but you feel it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that happens with sound effects because you combine them with the visual to create a full kind of effect. So that's actually where I'm going to stop the video here. I'm not going to just go through and play each and every sound effect because, you know, they're free. So I feel fine saying, hey, I'll leave it to you to discover some of these and to just check some of these out for yourself, because it costs you nothing to check out this free sound effects pack. So I will have a link down below so that you can go check out AE Juice and check out not only this free sound effects pack, but, you know, check out some of their other free asset packs, as well as, you know, check out some of their, you know, their paid asset packs, and see if maybe some of that would interest you as well. So that is the video, link down below. Give AE Juice a look, and hopefully I will catch you on the next one.